Good morning. Today is podcast day. Let me explain. Think of podcasts as like the new radio and giving you the opportunity to share more content further and faster. Now, I have a few podcasts in the making, about 5, and I'm working on one with Alex right now. It's supposed to be weekly, but it has been so far monthly, bi-monthly, and it's just due to scheduling conflicts. I'm working on 3 other podcasts. One of them is unannounced, as I'm working on with Brandon, link up in the description. The other two I'm building currently with different communities, both in the Magic the Gathering scene, which I have a Discord for, linked down in the description, and one in language forums that I can connect with other platforms and streamers. Later on this afternoon, I have a meeting online with a good close friend of mine, Monique, who we are going to create another podcast overseas and create a podcast most likely about food. So the 4 domains of podcasts that I'm working on: lifestyle podcast, a business podcast, language podcasts, and magic podcasts. I currently have 2. I got 2 podcasts in the mix for magic. Well, the first one with me and Alex is about, you can see links down in the description and I'll link it up here. That's about the breakdown of magic cards, its growth, evolution, and the meta and the format. The one I have with Active, this one is going to be about consuming the game in a way that's not for the gamers. This is a newer format that we're working on together. Now we're going to have what we call lifestyle podcasts. The lifestyle podcasts are going to be held within 2 different realms. First one I have with Surla. We do a lifestyle vlog about our goals, and we do this monthly. We make monthly podcasts for the past year, and we have a collection of them that have not been posts. There's going to be more of like a time capsule of lifestyle podcasts that is, I'm announcing here, but I'm going through an idea of sharing with you because it's giving me the skills to create new podcasts and motivating me to make new podcasts with others, because this is a shared podcast that's unannounced, or now it is announced, and it's monthly, but we haven't posted it. So it does exist, we do have them, and as soon as they're ready for distribution, I'll let you guys know. Followed by my good friend Monique. She lives in my hometown, San Diego, California. We're going to be discussing food and memes. We have a passion for the same thing and something we can talk about, so we're educating each other, and today we have a meeting about this, so I'd like for you guys to join. The next one I have is a language vlog with my good friend Kanata MTG. She is an active Twitch streamer for Magic the Gathering who typically plays draft. She's a great person, and she's also a language teacher. I introduced the idea of doing a polyglot or teaching a language podcast with her. We can work together to create some new insights to help build a language podcast. Now, this discipline is going to help me build the business that I'm currently working on and the business enterprise that I'm working on in total. Next, I got the business podcast. This one's special. This one is with my friend Brandon, my best friend who lives now in the great state of California. Let me tell you a story. Okay, so the story goes something like this. Brandon and I connected back in Los Angeles a few years ago, about 2 years ago now. Vlog up here, or the video up here in the description. Picked me up from the airport, and we decided to take a cool joyride to go get lunch because I was in between a small gap of time picking up my visa. It was during this time and this opportunity where we share our unique perspectives. And because we live in different countries now, and we're growing older and now starting to have our own lives that's very defined, it was very interesting to show that kind of growth in our industries and our own personal growth that we were learning as just the young men that we were to the men that we want to become. And this is a very unique issue because we thought that this was unique to us, but then recognized that all of this was very relatable. And because it's relatable, we thought that it would be the best to show it in a podcast format where we can show where people came from and where they're going and the space in between. And the space in between is what our podcast will be about. Motivation, inspiration, and for startups. That's going to be the methodology for our podcast. Growing up, Brandon and I had some strange experiences with our school life, with the decisions that led us to the universities that we went to, with the opportunities presented to us. High school was probably the most developing time for me and Brandon, as there was a lot of successes and failures, and I'm not gonna lie, more of it was failures because of just growth and creativity. And on top of that, we had a very unique perspective that was second language learning, coming from our certain income and background, moving forward into a high school that didn't really nourish that ability for students who had different gifts, different ideas, different thought process. And because of this, we felt like we had to advance in a different way. We had to build ourselves a different way. We had to structure something a different way in order for us to be successful in the way outright. We didn't want to fit into the norms, and that's because we didn't want to do what everybody else was doing. We wanted to do what was successful to us. Even though it was not what others wanted, it's not what the parents wanted, it's not what our friends wanted, it's what made us happy, it's what made us get out of bed, it's what made us want to do what we wanted to do every single day. And that's what we're going to show on the podcast. I really, really, really do hope that we build it sometime by the end of this year. Alright, we are joined with good old Monique today, guys. Say hi.
Hello.
Well, you are so motivated. Thank you for joining me today. We're making a beautiful podcast, trying to come up with some ideas.
Places to eat are where the locals eat.
And the best way to learn a culture?
There's a line.
Rosendo says where there's a line also to eat.
Oh, so 3 rules. Best way to learn a culture is to eat its food. Best way to know something's good, if there's a line. I know that one.
Things, so trends.
Oh, like a trend, like a pop-up?
Yeah.
Like a pop-up,
like,
yeah.
Oh, this is the new trend.
Yeah. I think that'd be really cool if we had opportunities where if we could match a food, right? If we could match a food, we should eat the food, right? And then describe it to the best of our ability. So match and describe. That would be a food podcast starting when? Next week?
Starting Monday the 17th.
Do you want to, so are we posting it or we're going to film it and then chop it up and then post it during the week?
Well, how many days do you think it'll take to edit that?
I don't know, it'll probably take like 2 or 3 days. We could take turns. You can learn how to edit.
So Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Take it on Monday, post on Wednesdays?
Yeah, because then we can have the weekend. We have the weekend to
do our homework.
To do our homework. Okay? Alright, homegirl. Thank you very much.
Deuces.
Have a great rest of your week.
You too.
Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you guys are interested in any of these podcasts or anything that I've mentioned, link down in the descriptions for anyone that you're interested in checking out. Also, leave a comment if you're trying to build a podcast, if you want to learn more about podcasts. I'll send you the links that I'm working on with others so you can get an idea of what I'm trying to build, okay? Thanks for watching. See you guys later.